Hello, friends. You've stumbled across a short clip from the Daily Switch 2 podcast, which, believe it or not, is a podcast that is about the Switch 2 with new episodes released daily. What will they think of next? But, things I like. What jumps to mind? The music. The music is exemplary, fantastic, maybe the best Nintendo soundtrack ever. Maybe. The character animation, fantastic. Some of the best character animation I've seen in any game ever. As far as like expressive, cartoony characters, we're not talking, hyper-realism, trying to look like photorealistic human beings. No. Like cartoon characters come to life. Yeah, this is absolutely excellent. It's just a shame that it's in a game where the majority of the time you're looking at the back of Mario's head rather than looking at his face. But, if this shows what the Switch can do and what Nintendo's programmers and artists can do, I can't wait for a new 3D Mario game with those kind of reactions in there. Even Mario Wonder was a heck of a lot more expressive with its animation than new Super Mario Bros. U. So, yeah, this is just only going to get better with the Switch 2. The character animation, it really shows, what the Switch can do. It's just a shame that, blink and you'll miss it because it's in a game where the camera angles and lighting and everything else just don't get a chance to show it off, but it is really good, and for replays, and it's fantastic and very, very impressive. I like the fact there's a wide variety of characters, and there's some new characters that I really like. Shout to the cow. The internet seems to love the cow, so but I do as well. It's I don't know. It's so funny of like, okay, Moo Moo Farms. We all know Moo Moo Farms, and okay, now you can be a cow, right? Okay, great. There's a really wide variety of vehicles, and a lot of I think that's another video that I should make is talking about the variety of vehicles and just slight differences in play styles that come with them, although, as I said, nowhere near the kind of satisfying they control completely differently and you have to master them completely differently feeling that Sonic Racing Transformed had. But that's not Mario Kart. That's it. Mario Kart is meant to be pick up and play, and you can give it to your mum, you can give it to your grandmother, you can give it to your little brother, and they'll be able to play. And I assume that there's all the assists and stuff that you usually have there as well. And now I talk about it for little kids. Like you can have steering assist, or maybe not little kids. I'm sure maybe for people differently abled people or people with different handicaps or different abilities, it might be very, very, very useful for them. So I'm not trying to be offensive by saying for little kids, but it's just those kind of things. Those kind of assists are not things that I personally ever use, so I didn't really think about it. But I didn't think to check whether they're there, but I assume they're there because those kind of things were there in the previous Mario Kart game. There's customization of the vehicles and things as well, and I like that. I like the fact that there's collectibles to customize them. I think there's not as much variety as I would like, and some of the stickers and things aren't as interesting as I would like. But again, there's room to improve that in the future with updates and patches and DLC and maybe microtransactions, but God forbid. I hope Nintendo wouldn't go down that route, and they just go down the route of, okay, we're going to add things and you have to play the game to earn them rather than you have to pay 99 cents. We're not Activision or Ubisoft or EA. What else do I like? The classic modes. The classic modes work basically just like I wanted, just like I wanted them to. Or the classic kind of Grand Prix and everything are all there. I was afraid that they might not be, but they are, and they work how you'd expect them to. It's just the difference is, the wider courses than the 24 players. But we're talking about things that I like, so I won't talk about that. Some of the P-Switch missions work really well as tutorials, as I said, and teach you techniques to use in races, and they're really smartly designed, and they're really cool, and they're really fun, and it's good. It's really satisfying when you have learnt something kind of by osmosis, and then you get to use it in an actual race, and then you kind of remember, oh yeah, I learnt that in that P-Switch mission, and it just I appreciate that. And so far I like many of the main courses. I like many of the main courses that you race on. There's a lot of imagination, there's a lot of variety, but when we get onto things I don't like, some of the course designs are very linear and feel very sparse. especially the ones that are kind of joining one area to another. It feels like, okay, we have these really amazing kind of AAA courses, but in order to get to the next one, you have to waste time on this kind of C grade, perfectly fine but perfectly average area before you get to another AAA course, but there are AAA courses. But things that I don't like. I don't like the fact that it's not consistent, and I certainly don't like the kind of very linear, very sparse nature of some of the areas. Again, as I mentioned, some of the P-switch missions are uninteresting, and the rewards don't really compel you to do them more, and it gets frustrating, especially if you have to go off-road, so you end up, driving really slowly, and unless there's a way around that I haven't learned yet. The grinding and the tricks, as I said, I kind of like them, but they feel half-baked and underutilized, although it is fun when they work. The time of day changes, etc., look cool, but it also means that each track is a bit more homogenized and doesn't have its own specific look or feel tied directly to color and lighting and atmosphere. Doesn't mean that there isn't variety, but it does mean there's less variety, especially visually, than there could have been. The open world and the main tracks being joined together, it actually feels unnecessary, and it limits them, leading to certain parts of the game feeling underwhelming or unpolished. Again, as I said, there's scope for that to be fixed in the future or improved with DLC that can kind of fill it in, or a bit like how Tears of the Kingdom goes back to the world of Breath of the Wild and adds things and fills in spaces and adds stuff above and below, and there's scope to do that. But we're not reviewing what the game could be, we're reviewing what the game is now. And right now, there are substantial parts of the game that feel underwhelming, unpolished, dare I say unfinished, but only when comparing to the standards of a AAA Nintendo game. As I say, sometimes it ends up feeling a bit like a kind of Ubisoft game. And many people love Ubisoft games, and there are some Ubisoft games that I love, but I'm thinking of like the kind of worst stereotypes of open world Ubisoft modern era, where it all just feels a bit like empty areas that are hiding loading screens or are just filled with procedurally generated random stuff to waste your time getting to the part of the game that you actually want to get to in order so that they can say, oh, it's 200 hours long. Yeah, but it could have been 10 hours long and be really good, but we made it 200 hours long and there's 10 hours that's good. It's, I don't know. Perils of modern gaming, and Nintendo's having that kind of awkward growing pains feeling here. My least favorite thing about any Mario Kart game is always the unpredictability. And I know that some people, that's what they find fun about it. And I also know that that's kind of what makes it a good multiplayer game for parties or a good family game, because even the most skilled player can lose to a complete beginner because of the items and the randomness and the unpredictability of that. So, obviously I go into any Mario Kart expecting that, but I do feel that with the 24 players on the road at any one time, and they're all collecting items and they're all trying to overtake each other, and that's 23 other people that might get a blue shell, and I don't know, there's items flying everywhere and it can be chaotic, and I know that some people will find that really fun, but for me it feels a bit unbalanced. I'm sure I'll get used to it, but it does leave me feeling I'm not sure it's as fun for me personally as Mario Kart 8. But it's still good. It's still really good. I don't want to be negative. As I said, there's lots of things that I really like about it, especially the music, the character animation. If I just play the classic modes and don't play anything else, in some ways it's better than Mario Kart 8. So I guess the question is Mario Kart World the best kart racer ever? No, but it has the potential to be with updates further down the line. And yes, it is in certain ways. It depends what you're looking for from a kart racing game. Is it my favourite kart racing game ever? I don't think so. Is it in my top 5? Probably. Is Mario Kart World the best Mario Kart game ever? Well, again, if you're just about content and variety and depth, yeah. Yeah, it probably is. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's my favourite Mario Kart game, but it's very close. And if you, I love Mario Kart 8, as I said, and if you want more of Mario Kart 8, just it feels the same, it plays the same, but you have new characters, new courses to try. Yeah, get this, play the Grand Prix mode, and there you go. It remains to be seen whether it can beat Mario Kart 8 overall with updates and things. As I said, Mario Kart 8, how it launched on the Wii U, it went through so many updates and so many DLCs and over time. So I'm sure Mario Kart World is not in a finished state how it's been released. But how it's been released right now, is it the best Mario Kart game ever? Some people will say absolutely yes, of course it is, no question. For me, no, but it's in the top 3. It's in the top 3. Well, that was funny / sad / informative / stupid, wasn't it? Feel free to mentally redact to make that make sense with the clip that you just heard. I don't know what it was. I'm just recording a bumper. But if you enjoyed the clip, please give it a like. If you'd like to hear more, click subscribe, and you can find all the ways to listen to and support the full daily podcast at linktree/dailyswitch2. That's linktr.ee/daily switch 2. Let's go! Did I sound like I mean that? I do. I really do.